Greetings everybody and welcome to our launch stream for Rapid Transit. Apologies, that audio is a little bit on the loud side. Before we get started, can I just get a volume check from everybody? I can't see a way of turning the game up any more than it currently is. It's on maximum, but at least we can just make sure that you can hear everything and well, it doesn't matter if I can hear it. I can hear stuff on this, so that's good enough for me. I sound great, says Jay. Checks in the mail, mate. Checks in the mail. Audio 10 out of 10. Excellent. Right then, folks. Apologies. Rapid Transit. Let's just put me up in the corner where I belong. And excuse my headphones. It looks kind of trippy. But anyway, yes, Rapid Transit. New down here. Coming out tomorrow, 6 p.m. So, what's Rapid Transit? Rapid Transit is the new German route. It's the Leipzig S2 S-Bahn. Let's go in there. And it features the BR 1442 Talent 2. So what am I going to do? I think the best bet is just to go ahead, get in the... use 10 dB gain in OBS. Okay, it's too late to set that up now. Hopefully you can hear what you need to hear though. So I'm going to get in the tutorial. So the plan is we're going to run the tutorial, which is a how to start up and move the Talent 2 unit. Then in the scenarios, there's a range of scenarios in here. We're going to be running Metropolitan. And after that, we'll spend a bit of time in service mode. If we have a quick look, go into the Talent. You can now go in here, and then you've got all the services that are in there to pick from. And what we're going to do is a little bit of a mix of passenger and driving, and as I like to do. Right, so let's get started with the tutorial. It's a short introduction. We are going to be having giveaways. I believe Jay has stuff to give away. So, Talent 2 introduction.
To the S-Bahn Mitteldeutschland network in 2013. During this brief introduction, we will cover how to start up the unit for operation, get moving, and then how to bring the unit to a stop. To start with, climb aboard via the cab door and sit in the driver's seat.
Sorry, hang on a second. I'm trying to see if there's a way I can just boost the audio a bit. Right, that doesn't seem to have made any difference whatsoever. Good game, good game. Before we get on, no. Okay, that setting in OBS did precisely nothing. Right, okay, let's have a quick look around the outside. We've got the coupling. Got the detail of that coupling. I'm going to show you a bit more on the coupling actually at the end. And we've got the obviously the interior there. But let's get in the cab as instructed and sit down at the seat.
During normal operation, this unit draws electricity from the overhead catenary via a pantograph. However, since the pantograph is currently in the down position, we have to power the initial systems by priming the auxiliary battery.
Trying to see if there's a way I can boost this audio. It literally is on maximum. Where's that 10 dB thing, Bob? Okay, so we need to do the battery. That's on the wall over there. Let's press it and hold it on for a little while. By the way, this flashy white, this is actually temporal anti-aliasing. If you switch to FXAA, it stops flashing, but it's a lot more jaggedy. This is much smoother once we start moving. It's just because we haven't moved yet. Master key to 1. Press E.
Now activate the pantograph so that it raises up and makes contact with the overhead catenary.
The main switch on.
Set the exterior lights for normal operation.
That's that one. Let's put that on dimmed. beam.
Set the reverser to forward. Sound the horn to warn anyone around that the unit is about to move. This unit has two braking systems.
You gotta love the horns on these things.
Direct brake and a blended brake that is part of the power brake handle. Set the indirect. Finally, switch off the parking brake. Move the power brake handle as required, and the train will begin to accelerate. Great work. The unit is now moving.
I'm running the game, by the way, at 720p, just because I'm running everything, stream, software, everything on one monitor, and that's not helping to the anti-aliasing stuff.
Before traveling too far, let's bring the train to a halt. And to do this, move the power brake handle as required.
Right.
Now that the unit has stopped, press the parking brake on button.
Does it have C for a PCB? It does, but they're not used in this particular tutorial. This is about powering it up and moving it. I'll show you the PCB. I'm going to run C from PCB and all the other stuff I do tonight. That's one reason I've got my headphones, so I can hear the alarms.
Which covers everything in this tutorial and more.
Achievement hype. Right. So, at this point, it's giveaway time. So the first copy of Rapid Transit, I'm going to hand over to DTGJ on the chat. He's going to give you the instructions that involve him coming up with a keyword, slightly different thing. And the keyword, you will then type that into the chat, and then he will randomly pick a winner out. So let's just hang on for DTGJ. I'm getting a keyboard. No, you need to do a keyboard. Talent is the keyword. So we're going to give that a couple of minutes, and then we will we'll see how that looks. Right. Meanwhile, I'm going to get myself set up for the service that we're going to run, which is Metropolitan. So Metropolitan sees us starting at Bitterfeld, and we are going to be running south before we get to Leipzig Messe, I think, where we will then dive underground into the city tunnels, and we'll come out the other side through Leipzig MDR into Leipzig Konowitz, and that's where this journey will end. So the whole map it actually goes up to Dessau up here, and then runs all the way down to Markkleeberg Guschwitz down the bottom here. But we're just going to run this bit here. It's about half an hour, and then we'll see some of the bottom bit of the line with the service mode bit. Leipzig Nord, is it? Okay. I'm getting there. I'm learning this stuff. Just wait for Jay. Hey, Jay's doing his countdown. Let's wait for a winner to be announced. We're going to do 3 of these today, folks. We've got 3 copies to give away. If you don't have Train Sim World... Oh, another DK Viking! Congratulations, another DK Viking. Right, let's get going then. Folks, the chat's moving pretty quickly. If you've got any questions, what I suggest you do is go to the TSCom, or maybe Jay can recommend the best approach for getting your questions registered so that they all get answered and no one gets missed out. Captain Kev, it's the S2 S-Bahn from Markkleeberg Guschwitz up to Dessau. Right, let's get in. Turn the cab light off, put it on dimmed beam. We need to open the left doors. While we're doing that, let's get PZB and CIFA switched on. You'll notice the HUD now gets some extra toys to tell you what's going on with that. And if you wish, you can also click this button to switch into night cab mode for those that prefer the night cab. I know once we get in the tunnels, I usually switch it over. Let's get the wipers on. Take a look outside. So, remember also that the Talon has pantographs. Now, who can tell me what the #1 request for pantographs is? With train sim. Also got the corridor connections. Make sure you keep an eye out for these corridor connections. They'll be springing and bouncing around, just as the as you're used to in other trains. Sparks. Funny, that's not what I was expecting. Exactly the opposite, almost. One thing that's worth noting, by the way, is on the left screen here, you've got this this marker here. This pink, when it says pink KM with a marker through it, that means is traction lockout. So at the moment, if I apply power, nothing would happen. Traction lockout can happen because the doors are open. It can happen for all sorts of reasons. But if that pink the pink icon is there, you aren't going anywhere. So it's worth noting that if you see that, pull your throttle handle back to 0, fix what the problem is, and and then you can get going again. But that must be off before you put the power on. 10:45, we'll be able to go. It's coming up shortly. Oh, let me change the units. That's a very good point, folks. If you come into the settings here and go to metric, and you can have it in proper units for this region. You've always been able to do that. You've always been able to choose what you prefer for units. So the PZB indications are up here. CIFA is going to be used in the alerter slot here. So all of the safety systems are accessible on the HUD. Right, we notice the traction lockout has been released. We can now make our way onwards. Keys for CIFA and PZB are the same as train sim. So page down, end, and delete. Q for the CIFA. Speed limit here is, looks like 50, 60. Let's clear the CIFA. So the visual indicator for the CIFA comes up, if you're not aware, there, and that T light goes out when the doors are open. Can I pass a signal from the outside? Well, you want to hear the alarms go off from the outside? Yes, all of the audible alarms will appear on the outside. Right, our next station is 5.4 kilometers away. Right, now we're up and running a bit. Let's head up on the roof and have a look at the pantograph. Guess who missed a CIFA? Right, brakes are released. 2 horns, generally not used. .4 to Pete's Roda. Back inside. 2.2 kilometers to go. .6, nearly there. What you find is that the further north you go, the more spaced out the stations are. Maximum speed on the route that you'll go on this train is 160 km/h, which is the maximum speed of the train. As you can see, line speed goes up higher than that, but you're limited to 160. If you try and go above 160 with PZB on, then PZB will have words with you. It puts the brakes on to stop you doing that. Although you can always turn PZB off, of course. Yeah, there is a timetable. I'm going to be running some service mode after this, Ugly Kid Bro. You'll be seeing the passenger view next. We'll be sitting in the passenger view, riding the train in the next in the service mode example, Chris. Right. Open the doors. Doors to close now. Simon, I stopped at somewhere in the platform. You should know me by now. That's a it's a bonus for me if I actually stop. Right, off to Dulwich. Right, what have we got? 6.5 to Dulwich. My favourite bit of this route, yeah, I mean, it's really each of the stations you'll see is different for the most part. There's a few that are fairly similar, particularly in the southern part of the route. But once you get into the underground section, it's about 4 or 5 stations all underground, and I just think it looks amazing. Particularly because each station is so radically different. You've got the coloured pipes in Bayerischer. I can't remember what the other ones are. There's one which is all glass tiles. I am going to do a ride as a passenger, PS25, yes. It'll be a mix of a ride, actually. I'm going to do sort of half a dozen stops as a passenger, and then we'll take over a train and we'll drive that train. Just for a bit of variety. Yep, the displays have a night mode. You click that button and I'll switch over to night mode. I usually use the night mode either at night or in the tunnels. think it looks really, really immersive when you're in the tunnels and everything around you is dark. What's behind my head at the moment is the distance to the station, which is 3.3 kilometres. Let me just move me down. There you go, is that better? .2 kilometres. Oh, so I'm cheating. What do you mean, oh, so I'm cheating? You mean I've got the distances up? Yeah, I don't know the route that well yet. Right, 1.2 kilometres. Yes, the train has a thing called tempomat and S-Bahn. Anybody who knows me knows that I don't use them very often, but yeah, this is the tempomat button, this is the tempomat control. What it does is it puts a, I'll put the tempomat on in the next leg. .200 meters. When should you start braking? It's I don't know the official answer to that question, Geekmoto, but the train is really responsive, so it can actually slow down pretty quickly. So even at 160 kilometers an hour, I've left it surprisingly late and come in pretty much bang on the end of the platform. So you can throw this train about. It's quite quick to start and stop. PCB works, I'm afraid. Yeah. I've got PCB on, but we're following greens, so. So the track is actually there, but it's just all of the clips. So if you look, you can see the track there. It's all the clips around the track that aren't being shown because the clips are quite high detail. But yeah, the track is there. Whereas in previous routes, you would have seen the clips appearing in big chunks as the track was appearing. We've pushed the distance of the rail rendering right out, but we can't. If we push the track clips out, then it might hurt your frame rate a bit too much. I don't think the magnetic brake is animated. I need to double check that one. That's a good question. I know there was discussion about it. I don't think it's animated. Jotao. Can you do a bogey cam? We're using the 3 camera. You can put the camera any way you like. There aren't in reality, but you've also got head-out views just for the laughs. I quite like the reflective sides on the trains. So when this releases tomorrow, we'll do a wholesale update of everything. So there's I think there's patch notes published recently, So everyone, whether you buy Rapid Transit or not, will get updates to the core base games. If you own Great Western, any updates to that. If you own, obviously everyone owns CSX, you'll get updates to that. And if there's any to the GP40, I can't remember what the release notes said. But all of that, regardless of whether you buy Rapid Transit, you will get the core updates, and then Rapid Transit will be available at the same time. Yeah, if you turn off motion blur, it does make the wheels look better, but I think it makes everything else look not so good. So it's a question of choice, really. We are looking at some options for what we can do with the motion blur on wheels. There are some tricks, but they need experimenting. No, the cab windows can't be opened, I'm afraid. Brakes a bit too hard on that. So this thing stops pretty quick, even without emergency brakes. There's no using it on multiplayer, I'm afraid, Nick Bragg, but make sure you're connected to all the social media channels so that when there is an update. It's not been forgotten about. So when you're driving BFG, there is no passenger view, but there is obviously an interior. So what I'll do is when we stop at this station, I'll go and look around the interior. And no, you can't get in the toilet. Just saying. This is quite interesting. This is the kids' seats. Let's get back. We're going to need to get and unlock the doors in a minute. The toilets. It's better. You've got cab light dimmers, instrument light dimmers over here. You've got some other stuff going on. There's your PZB controls. Parking brake controls are over here. Oh, I said I'd use temper mat, didn't I? So if I enable temper mat, and then I start, you can see the things going up there. So 100 km/h now is our target speed. So temper mat controls your throttle and your e-brake. It won't control air brakes. It's just something to be aware of. .6 kilometers. The other thing is you can see in the tooltip there, it tells you what your target speed is as well. If you can't see it on the hub because it's you're running at a low resolution like I am. There's actually a little bit of PZB at the end of this scenario, do you? Because we approach a red light, so there's a yellow light which you have to acknowledge. CIFA in action. What you want? The CIFA's actually already hit me once, but if you acknowledge it, it releases the brakes. So I did own up to it at the time. 2.4 kilometers. Are there any depot movement services? No, because there's no depot actually. The S2 depot is north of the route, so unfortunately the services appear through the portal and begin their journey at Dessau on the route. So it's just holding itself now at 140 km/h, which is where I've set it. turn off the throttle and start slowing down. At a clock, you know there's a clock in the bottom right, don't you? Again, running at the low resolution, it may be that you can't quite see it. I'm crazy down. It's not AFB, it's tempomat. But they're functionally similar, but not identical. I can't remember the exact details of AFB. But no, this is tempomat. Tempomat, I think, literally translates to cruise control, if I remember rightly. Right, lock the doors. Leipzig Messe. Alright, we're almost at the tunnel. Yes, if you pre-purchased it, then once it's launched, it will just automatically download. Jay, correct me if I'm wrong with that. Things start getting a little bit more close together as we get down towards city. It gets within the city. Some of the stations are like 500 meters apart. Will the tunnel lighting fix tunnels on sandpatch? Not yet. However, now we have the tech for fixing the sandpatch tunnels. I am going to talk to the art team about how we get that put in. So hopefully that'll be coming at some point. The hard work is done. We've got the tech working now, which I hope you'll like. I like it. .3 kilometers for Leipzig Messe. Copper there's no indication, there's no information on editors at this point, I'm afraid. Oops. Missed a speed drop. Right, it's coming into Leipzig Messe. No, Ebola is not a functioning system in the game at the moment. Super homey. There is actually some other screens over here as well, so you can access traction information from the trains on this one. Over here there's braking information, and I think that one, yeah, this one you get information about the, I can't really see it, those are your vehicle numbers. So if you've got a 6-car unit, then you can see both of them on there and what they're doing. So there's a little bit of extra information on the panel on the left there. GUPCB is not automatically turned on. You turn it on with these two switches over here on the back wall. If I just go around there, you can see they are PCB and CFOT there. Let's lock the doors. Leipzig Nord, and then we're diving into the tunnel. There are raindrops, but the resolution I'm running at, combined with temporal anti-aliasing, is making it kind of hard to see actually, but they are there. FXAA tends to look a bit better for raindrops actually, but I like the way the motion blur and the smoothness works on TAA. It's a matter of personal preference really, which one you prefer to run with. But that's why the options are there. It's still Control F2, by the way, if you don't like the motion blur. Control F2 will toggle motion blur on and off. Like that. Chris, am I looking forward to some time off work? Always, always. 1.3 kilometers. Fane KDE, thank you very much for that. Appreciate your feedback. I must admit I've done the same with the pantograph as well. Particularly there's a couple of bridges where it does actually have to duck under the bridge and go back up again. Ouch. Okay, I got that wrong. There's still a passenger car in the platform somewhere. Yeah, Control Enter, Shift Enter do the PCB CFEE, but I think it's the main enter key, not the numpad enter key, because a number of people were saying that on laptops they don't have a numpad enter key, which is making it a bit more difficult for them. So yeah, Control Enter and Shift Enter. You want me to sort your DCC out for you, Amarillo? What are you done with it? First underground station is next, I think. What is it you're looking for, Simon? Do you want me to go and have a look at a signal? Okay, go and have a look at the signal. Not really great light for it, unfortunately. Let's lock the doors. Right, Leipzig HVF Underground is the first one that's coming up to 2.5 kilometres. No, there is only the talent in the game, Edel Plastic. There's Leipzig Main up in front of us. We're heading down into the tunnel though. This is the tunnel. Turn the wipers off now. Right, this is Leipzig Chief Underground. Show you the platform. There are collectibles as well. I just thought to mention. You've got the. In fact, I'll show you them when we do the next bit because I can actually show you. We'll walk around and show you them. Right. Yes, you can go into the 8-camera underground. Oh, I need to lock the doors. I'm sitting here staring at the screen going, what to do, what to do. Leipzig Market next. $400 meters. I've only got low lights on, by the way. There is a highlight, main high beam light you can activate. And over here, let's leave the passenger lights on. I can also turn that light on as well. So this is Leipzig Market. As you can see, each station is really quite unique. I'll go and have a look around this one as well. The station announcements. No, there is no sort of passenger information system at the moment. It's something that we're looking at. It's quite a complex system to integrate it in the train, the timetable, the displays. So it's on our wish list. Don't have a date for it though. So. Leipzig, Wilhelm. I don't know how to pronounce that. Yeah, I just noticed that with the pantograph as well. I'll raise that with the team. I suspect it's missing a collision volume or something. Oh yeah, this is the station that's all got the glass lights on the wall. Oh, you've also got this. I didn't even know this until I saw one of the engineers working on it. Oh, if I get the right one. There we go. Toys to play with, I guess. So in the tunnels, you just use the blue marker. It doesn't have the things on the outside. I don't know why that's out there. What do you want? You want to depart from outside view? Right. Leipzig Bayerische. No, the light strips don't work. I saw that in a video the other day. But no, the light strips don't work. They're static. "300 meters. Bayerische, I think, is the last underground station before we head out to MDF, which was a block of wood by the time when I last looked. But yeah, this is Bayerische. So in the real station, these lights light up as you approach the station. Is it it's MDR. Sorry, MDR. What was I saying MDF for? Because I'm a twit, basically. Leipzig is the first underground station in the direction we came from. So one of the key sort of notable areas of this is this light bar assembly here, and here. Right, we can load the passengers. MDR, yes, MDR. So we'll come out the tunnel again in a moment. We'll get you reading lights as well as the cab light. About a kilometre to MDR. Put the wipers back on. Oh, I missed Mr. Safe. Let's see, but never mind. I managed to be getting the station, so the problem being out of the cable. The external audio must be turned off on this. I didn't check. That was silly of me, wasn't it? Wait for the brakes to finish recharging, and then the traction lock will come on. There you go, traction lock's off. Oh, I think I got hit by a CFA, Train 2000. Oh yeah, I shall definitely talk to the guys about the pantograph tube. Alright, so we're approaching a 40 at the next signal. I think it's Control 7 or something, Lex Hearthstone. I can't remember, but something like that. Right. So, about a kilometre to the next signal. About 1.9 to Conowitz. I think Conowitz is where this ends, actually. Hey, Martin. This is a neutral zone, neutral section. Right, 40 kilometres an hour at the next signal. There's a yellow. So coming up on the final station now, 600 metres. So we'll do another giveaway in a minute. We're just coming up here. So yeah, this is the end of the scenario. £500. Does it need base game? It does, Chris. You do need to have CSX heavy haul. to unlock the doors now, don't you? Can't remember what way we came in. What way did we come in? We're unlocking left doors, right? Let's unlock the doors. What is left and right? Oh, so one thing I should say is that you get the flashing 85 here, it doesn't flash on the HUD. That is a limitation of it. It does flash in the cab, it's just not flashing on the HUD. Don't quite remember why that is. Let's turn that back. And that's our first scenario. What would you like me to talk about the Panto, Dictator Dono? Yeah, we're doing a passenger ride next. Right, so that's that. Right, Jay, giveaway time. Jay's going to give you a keyword, folks, and once you've got that keyword, type it into the chat, and that will give you the code. That I'll enter you into the giveaway. Rapid. There we go. Keyword is rapid. Meanwhile, I'm going to set myself up for the next thing. One thing, by the way, that's been changed in the UI, this is across the whole user interface. Previously, you'd click that and then go down and click it here or press the E key. Once you've clicked it, you can double click it now to carry on. If using an Xbox controller, you can just press the A key twice, once to select, once to go through. So you don't have to... Oh, what am I doing? This is not what I'm supposed to be doing. You don't have to keep going down to the E key thing. You're using the keyboard, which is quite a nice little comfort improvement. So we're starting at Großstadt Town at 9:15. Oh, it's just a tiny thing, it's just changing the UI. Just waiting for Jay to pick out a winner, or to get his computer to pick out a winner anyway. There we go, he's counting down. Watching the chat. The winner is AMFC Marek. Congratulations. Right, let's get going. So this service, we're starting one station up from the bottom. So we're going to watch. We're going to wait here for a minute. I can show you some giveaways, some collectibles. Someone said, is the pantograph physics-based or is it animation-based? Not quite sure what you mean. If you have physics calculations on there, you could kiss all of your frame rate goodbye. But what it is doing is it's basically firing a ray up all the time and trying to find the pantograph wire. It uses a collision on the pantograph wire, which means all you do is you put the pantograph wire where you want it. The pantograph will naturally just follow the... will follow it around correctly. So you don't have to set up or do anything tricky with the to make it work. You put when you root build, you just put the pantograph wires down, and it will find it all for itself. A random weather setting. That's an interesting idea, Dark Centurion. So, where does the service take us? So this service is, let me bring the map view up. So, it's starting here. In fact, here it is here. It hasn't left yet. It's a 6 car. And it's going to take us to Konowitz here. And this is our service sitting there waiting for us. So when we get to Konowitz, we'll get out and then we'll take this service over. And then we'll just go back through the tunnels, I think, is good enough for this run. This is one of the collectible items. So if you see damage on the ground, just simply walk up to it, and the yellow cone will appear. And then over here, I walked into that one accidentally. I meant to leave it so that I could show you, but I walked into it accidentally. Here's another collectible. This is a map. And I don't know where the spade is on the... there's another one which is like a gravel shovel. I don't know where it is here. On some stations you can walk down the stairs. On this station there is nothing to see down there, so that's blocked off. Other stations with walkways and things you can certainly walk around. Let's walk back up here a little bit. Oh, I found it. Clearly, it must have been around about there. I was blind. Right. What we've got to do now is wait. VR support, yeah, VR support would be awesome. It's not a priority at the moment. Again, it's about getting the core simulation up to standard before we start adding in bells and whistles. But I'm all about adding some bells and whistles at the right time. So if the OHLE goes away from the track, isn't there, as far as the Panto concerned, what happens in TSW? I don't understand the question, Cameron's Gaming. Do you mean if there's no overhead line equipment, what happens to the pantograph? It essentially, I think it freezes in place. Or it springs up like it did in the tunnels. I honestly can't remember which one of those two it does. This is the waiting for train simulator. Yeah, absolutely. Here it comes. Or is that just wishful thinking? Yeah, here it comes. Here it comes. Some of the collectibles are placed in more difficult locations. Most of them are pretty accessible. You'll find, I think, pretty much all of them on stations somewhere. So walk around the stations. Let's go and sit down. Sit down in our first class seats whilst we make our way over. Matt goes premium. Absolutely. Can't do it in real life, so I'm certainly doing it in the simulator. No, you can't use the loop, Chris. Number one question, I think. Did I buy a first class ticket? Of course I did. Can I walk around the train? Certainly. Well, I'll do that at the next stop, actually. Just sit down for the minute. We've got 2 or 3 stops before we get to Conowitz. Does a train have physics when you're driving it as a passenger? Driving it as a passenger? You mean riding it as a passenger? It's got much simplified physics. Having all the trains running with full physics was basically not possible. What cursor? You like the cursor, Shazam? Shush, Instasim, don't tell anybody. Don't tell Jay, he'll come here and throw me out. Oh yeah, no one's getting in. The door is barricaded. I'm here until I want to get off. Then you can throw me off if you want. Maybe at some point we have talked about it, serious data. It sort of comes under the list of other things that we want to get done first. So, what I will do is show you that. I'll see if I can find the grit shovel around here. Is it on this one? Oh, we're going to have a wander around the platform first. Let's have a wander around the platform, shall we? Not the platform, sorry, the train. There's the funky seats. And this will be the rear car. I can go and have a look in here. Let's get back to my seat before it starts moving. Don't want to get in trouble. Now, did we find a seat? Not a seat, a shovel. I don't know where the shovel is. I must admit, I have difficult finding those. Right, that's the first station. Got a couple more to do. Oi, Moggy, I've got your number. Getting on at me for my little tiny explosion of a steam engine last night. Wasn't that big a deal? No one noticed. Couplings. Obviously there's no physics, so you're not seeing them move around and animate, but that's them. I am going to show you more in a minute about uncoupling and recoupling. It's not actually used in any of the scenarios at the moment, but it'll be good for you to at least see them. And the functionality is there and how you use it. Oh, there was a shovel down there. Oh, there's a shovel. There, look. Can you see the make? I don't know what you mean, Joe. Any sign of IL-62? Is that road? There is a couple of bridges you go under, I think, and there's another line that comes in from the right as well. Oh, the map. Where are we? Oh, okay, next stop is ours, Conowitz. Yeah, so this is, you come up there, you've got those lines coming in here. This is MDR. That's all the underground section. This is Leipzig, Main, and the roundhouse there. You've got the yard. Continue on up. Don't know the names of the stations from the map. Map just keeps on going until you get to Dessau up there. Right, next station's mine. No, the map hasn't changed, Sam. Is this Conowitz coming into now? I think it might be. Yep, this is Conowitz. Very hard to see which direction the track switch is set. So that got an update in GWE. I'll show you that in a minute. It's actually quite clear now. There's no information on tools at the moment, train sim content. They're still being worked on. The challenge, obviously, the tools obviously exist because we're using them, but the challenge is how we get them into a place where they can be distributed, because it's not quite how Unreal works, but we're definitely working on them. Definitely want to get something out to you folks as soon as we can. Alright. Let's get out here. Find my train. Right, let's power it up. Not quite sure why it's powered down, but it's powered down, so. If you're looking at it a bit closely, you'll see the battery indicator go up. There's also a lamp test light that turns on. So I'll open the doors in a minute. Jump in front of the train. Should we have a look for some freebies while we're waiting? Freebies? Why do I keep saying that? There's a map somewhere around here. So yeah, there are. If the stations have bridges and things to different platforms, you can of course. Oh, hello! We found one. No, I'm going to open the doors in a minute when the service starts. Service starts at 1:30. Does the lift work? No.
Bitte achten Sie auf den Abstand zwischen Zug- und Bahnsteigkante.
Right. Open the doors. Take the cap light off. Put that on dim beam, which is good. That's in forwards. Zipper and PZB are on. Release the spring brake. Good. So maybe a few seconds, then we'll get the all clear to go. There we go. Given the other train left in front of us, I'm going to leave the monitoring on. Unfortunately, the cab windows don't open, Sven. I keep turning it on purpose. No, I actually don't. I turn it on so that it's not going to. My mouse isn't going to jog the view around. Alright, we're out of monitoring now. Swinging around to MDR. .900 meters to our stop. Put the distance up in the top left corner. Yellow lights. Where you get the real C group for TSW. There's no future products been announced other than this one, and this is only future until tomorrow. Yeah, I am in the process of getting the timetable documentation together, Simon. I made some progress on that today, but Steve is waiting on me for that at the moment. Back in restricted monitoring. The air brake is on this lever. So this is a, you pull it forward, you can then add more air, put it in the middle, so you've got independent control over that brake. Yeah, Bethel 40 should work. Well, the timetable will be nicely formatted and look nice in a binder. Hopefully. I think the Great Western one looked good. Please do a tour of the cab driver. I will in a second, Jim. Alright, we've got to go. Good. So, over here, parking spring brake on and off. We've got the left traction display, which also gives you some other information about braking, and you've got other stuff here about the other brakes. Here you've got the train status information. You've got night mode on here. Got 1000 Hertz display up at the moment. So I'm just watching my speed because we're going downhill in a moment. We've got the passenger interior lights, which are the ones behind me in the main cabin. You've got cabin lights, reading lights on or off. You've got the sander, the headlights. Oh, let's need to answer that. Oops, clearly did something wrong there. PCB fail, hype. Right, brake pipe's charging back up again. And notice the traction lock is on. Put it back into the middle. Once it's released back to there, I can now pull forward. The traction lock is off, so we can get going again. Door open, close, left and right. Horn, independent. I think this is direct brake. You've got the combined handle. Pantograph main circuit breaker. This is your master switch. You've got your PZB controls, temper map for speed control. Switch over to my view. What have I done wrong now? The minute there's any actual PZB, I'm out of it. Put the this light on so you can see. There's some of the switches in there. Right. Better. Yeah, trying to do a tour of the cab while doing CIFA is difficult. If I go to the cab light, I'm just going to pop that back to there. Back here, you've got some couple CIFA and PZB switches on here. Why is it stopping now? Have I done bad again? Probably didn't help that I stood up, did I, in the CIFA reset? Not allowed to stand up and wander around the cab while the train's driving, apparently. Who knew? Why would you think that, Dan? Why would you think that? What else have we got? Let's turn the cab light off. Wipers are down here. Cab light and so you've got cab light dimmer, instrument light dimmer. You had faith in me. Well, that was a silly thing. That was a silly thing, wasn't it, Dan? You didn't really have faith in me, don't lie. Don't forget, folks, you can pre-order it today. Jay, can you remind me what the pricing is? Because I think it's got quite a decent discount at the moment for pre-orders. So now is probably one of the better times to ever buy it, to be honest. Right. 40% off on Steam until 6 PM tomorrow. There you go, folks. Downhill. We are going downhill. You sneaky little train. Cool light wing. So in the city tunnel area, the stops are about every 500 to 1,000 meters to a kilometre. In the north area of the tunnel, they can be 8-9 kilometres apart with a max speed 160 kilometres an hour. It's actually 200 kilometres an hour, but the train's only capable of 160. Can I show you the city? No, we're at the city isn't modelled because we're underground. You never see the city. We're going to Leipzig Underground Station, which is in 2 or 3 stations' time. They don't have LZB, Dictator Dono. That's what I'm saying. The train can't go over 160 kph. The track speed is 200 kph because there are other trains. So ICETDs run along these tracks. Seefloskal, yep, I can show you the map. So it's Markleberg, Gaschwitz down the bottom up to Dessau in the top. And this is the city tunnel area here. So we've got 2. This is the next station, and this is the last one, I think, in the underground. Sorry, not TDs, Ts, ICETs. I have no idea. I have no idea. Will what be added in some point, Urzu? Right, we're out of monitoring, we've got green lights. No, I misspoke, I didn't mean ICTD, I meant ICT. Leipzig Main is not modelled, no. Leipzig Market. Yeah, you can press F1 to get rid of all the interface if you just want to run entirely without the information at the top. I think most elements can be toggled now with Control and one of the various number keys. So, for example, you press Control 4, you can turn off the stuff on the top right. One of them, yep, score can get turned off. There you go. So you can turn things on and off as you wish. Or F1 just turns the whole lot off. Can the tunnels be explored? Yeah, you can get out of the train and go and walk down the tunnels if you want to. I'm not going to do that tonight, but yes, you can walk down the tunnels. There's not a lot to see, to be perfectly honest. Except the other end of the tunnel. Right, Leipzig Underground is the next one. Yeah, if you like wandering around on foot, Geekmoto, then there's actually plenty of room outside as well, so that if you're wandering around on foot, you can stay well out of the way of any trains that happen to go by. You've got plenty of room to walk on the footpaths either side. I've got one more bit to do after this, Railfan, just a little short bit. But after this, which will be coming up in a minute actually, so as soon as we get out of the tunnel, then I'm going to do one more little, so with this, then we're going to give away, then we'll do one more little bit and then we'll wrap up. There's no alcoves in the tunnels because there's a footpath either side of the train, either side. So you don't really need the alcoves. It's quite wide. Oh, is Jay harassing everyone, the mods for giveaways again? Jay! I'm crazy then. Am I streaming this later? No. It's not out yet. This is your advanced look. I'm a disgrace. Can you move the sunblind? Yes, you can. Doors. No hints about the next DLC, I'm afraid, Nox Andrew. Not yet. Yes, I will, Cameron. Turn the high beams on so we can see a little bit of what's going on under here. It's no fun driving completely in the dark. I was actually driving this the other day. I did a full length run of the line in pitch black. It's actually really good fun because there's so many things coming at you that the light picks up and signals and so forth. It was actually quite interesting. What we got? 1.9 kilometers. Back to our normal screens now. Cadet Pilot, you can only get this from Steam. As far as I'm aware. Jay, correct me. We're probably a bit away from MDR Tower now, aren't we, Edward Plastic? No, there isn't a tutorial in the game on the German signalling. There's a bit of information about PZB and so forth in the manual. There's some detail on that, about how to use PZB and so forth. So you get some help in the manual. Right, this is our last stop that we're going to do, and then we're going to let the AI take it. Oops. Little button there went too far. Right, unlock the doors. To wait till the unlock door instruction is finished before we let it go. Finish your instruction before you hand over.
Bitte achten Sie auf den Abstand zwischen Zug und Bahnsteigkante.
So what's everyone's favourite add-on so far? For so you've got CSX, you've got Rapid Transit. Appreciate you. This is the only view you've seen of it. Great Western Express and the GP40. What's everyone's favourite? Let's get a shout out for what are you enjoying at the moment? CSX because you're American. Fair enough. Right. Hello. Oh, that's a good time to end the stream there. And that there. Then what other thing I was going to do? So let's do a giveaway. I don't know what happened there. Oh my word. Moving swiftly on. So Jay, do a giveaway. Distract everybody. While I get set up for a quick demonstration of the couplers. Make swift note to tell people. Right, what I want to do, I want to go down here and start at 9:15 and have a. What we'll do is we'll just pick that train up that we rode earlier on as a passenger, and we'll start with that one and just mess about with it basically. Oh, passenger is the keyword. Passengers. I'm seeing everyone spamming passenger. I was hoping that's because that's the keyword. Last copy of Rapid Transit, and you don't have to have own TSW. If you don't own TSW, you'll be given everything you need to get going. Just wait for the giveaway to finish, and then we'll proceed with just the last bit, which will only take us 2 or 3 minutes. Foreigner. Cadet pilot. So there's been a wide range of improvements. It's difficult for me to talk about specific improvements because it's quite a lot of tiny ones, and it's not actually been benchmarked yet, so I can't actually tell you what to expect. But there's been quite a bit of improvement in various areas. Whether they affect your machine or not, I'll be interested to hear. LM2606 is the winner. Congratulations, LM2606. Right, let's just do this real quick. This won't take us long, but since the guys working on the loco spent a bit of time working on on this, I thought I would show it to you. I'm going to take that train over. Thank you very much. Right, so back here we have a coupling, and in the screen here you can see we've got 2 trains, and similarly if I look here you can see we've got 2 trains. So if I go back to the screen and you uncouple and couple with this switch over here, if you turn it, this is a master switch, 0 and 1 for your main key, but if you turn it here, the left setting is local decouple, local uncouple, on the right is remote uncouple. So local uncouple is uncouple from this one here, remote is from the other end of the train. So if I push that over and hold it there for a moment, you'll see that the right hand loco vanishes, Zug 2 vanishes. There you go. So Zug 2 has just vanished from that screen there, and you can see that we're now it's now decoupled the electronics. So let me just wait for it and shut the passenger doors, which I can now. I'm not doing what it's supposed to be doing, so I'll just ignore what it's telling me at the top. I broke it. You know, when you practice for something and you're like, oh, this will go really great on the stream, it will have no problem at all. That's better. Right, so now if I just couple up. I did lock the doors. The doors were locked. It's saying locked doors at the top, but I have actually locked. It's just I'm not really doing what I'm supposed to be doing in this scenario. Kind of messing about with it. Yes, you can decouple trains on GWR. So if I now gently come in. Now what you can do is put the power on. It's now in tempomat 1 km/h. So tempomat will now manage the couple for me, and all I do is hands off. As soon as it couples up, it kills the power. And there you go. So you get this nice animation with the electricals there, and
Achte auf den Abstand zwischen Zug und Bahn.
so that makes it quite nice actually, because you can use the tempomat then to couple up. So tempomat has a 1 km/h setting, which is specifically for coupling up to other units. Okay, that's it, folks. That's your look tonight at the Rapid Transit add-on coming tomorrow, 6 o'clock. It's on discount. Remember, 40% off until 6 o'clock tomorrow, which is a kicker of a discount. Yeah, so make sure you take advantage of that. I think everything's actually broadly on sale for the moment. So if you don't own Train Sim World, then I think there are various bundles there that you can use to get on board. So yes, I hope you enjoyed that, and I look forward to. I think we're going to try and start doing some more regular streams, but watch this space. And if there's stuff you'd like to see, then shout. All right, folks. Thanks very much for watching. Take care. Enjoy your prizes, and I'll see you next time. Thanks a lot. Bye bye.